Hello, my crafty friends. It's Lynn, and I'm back to talk to you today and demonstrate how to wood burn using Magnolia Design Co. stencils. It's so fun. And so let me start by telling you what I'm going to use today. So first, I found a little charcuterie board at Hobby Lobby. They're having a sale this weekend, and I want to say it's 50 or 60% off of all their spring items, especially St. Patrick's Day. So the other thing we're going to use is a different product, and it's called torch paste. And if you're interested in this, I will make sure that I give you a link to this particular product. And I love it. Love, love, love it. It's a great product. I'm also going to use, you'll never guess, the filigree leaf. I can't get over this. I can't get over this. So before I get started with any of this, I am going to use my Dollar Tree latex gloves. And I'm doing that to protect my hands. And I'm also going to make sure I have two here. I have two? Yes. So I'm going to cover my hands, not only for when I'm using the torch paste, but also for when I'm cleaning off my stencil. You're going to use this particular stencil, again it's filigree leaf, and you're going to use the same technique that you would if you were chalking or inking, but we're going to use torch paste instead. This is a substance that will allow us to use our heat gun. On this one, you want to use the most powerful heat gun that you have. A hair dryer, you're going to be sitting and trying to get it to burn the wood for hours. And actually, I have two different ones out here. And normally, I would use my Wagner. This is a low-powered Wagner. It's too darn cold, and there's no path to the back. Wood shop, so I'm not walking out there. So I'm going to make do. So I'm going to put on my gloves. Get them on here. Have to love little latex gloves. If you're allergic to latex, find another kind of glove to wear, because we don't want you having any kinds of reactions. That's never fun. Then what I'm going to do, well, I'm going to find my thumb here first. I don't have my fingers in here correctly. So anyway, this is something that, oh, tickling my throat, excuse me. This is something that I would not allow younger children to use without adult supervision, because again, kids don't exactly know and they don't always follow the directions. So we want to make sure we absolutely teach them how to use the product safely, but also to use it correctly. I haven't been drinking my water today, and I can tell. I made it tropical in here again. It's not working, so I think my tropical days are over and I need to go back to Minnesota days. So I have used this stencil multiple times, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it back, but I want my backer sheet underneath it. That way, if I go over it all, I'm getting it on my backer sheet and I can easily wipe that off. So I'm going to bring my stencil very carefully over, and I'm going to see if I can get this to lay flat. If not, it's not. So I'm going to fold it back this way, and I'm going to set my Shamrock down on top of it, and then I'm going to pull it back over, and then I'll have my backer sheet then underneath it. Where I really want to be careful is these edges, because this is not lying on a flat surface. I have these areas where it's really hard to feel that you've got this on here. I'm going to be careful on those edges because, again, that's where I don't have the tightest seal that I should have. So I'm going to open up my torch paste, and I'll actually show this to you. It's a gel. It actually kind of looks like our ink, but it's not ink. And we will make it permanent once we get drying it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to spread it across my surface here. And you know what? I think mine's getting old, and I even have to purchase a new batch. So again, you're doing it just like you do with ink or chalk paste, and you're just taking it across your stencil, and makes it so easy to do. You don't have to work quite as fast, and you can see, because I love it being orange. However, at the holidays they make green and red too. That does not make a difference in your wood burning, but it's fun to have different colors. So if you are liking what you're seeing on my page, spread the love to your friends and family and invite them to join along and see what I'm doing. They can follow me either on Facebook or on my YouTube channel, which is, of course, Humblebee Craft Studio. Now I'm going to go over here and make sure that I have everything where it needs to be. Okay, I knew I had just a little bit left to go down here. Now I do have some excess, and where that's happening, if I missed a spot, is all along the wood where you can see the outline. Oh, that's not on the wood. So I'm just going to very lightly go over and get my chalk paste off, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it on those other spaces. So now, like ink, I like to wash this off sooner than later. So I'm going to pull this back. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm just going to set that aside. And I like it better if that dries for a few minutes. Just stand up here so I can get my stencil. And I'm going to clean my stencil again. I've got my tub of water here because I really want to make sure. I've never left it on, so I don't know if it would ruin your stencil. I'm going to assume that it's going to be safe to leave it on longer, but I just don't like to take the chance of that having an issue. So I'm going to get this washed off here. And what I'm doing is I'm using what's called a stencil sponge. And I use my stencil sponge whenever I clean my stencils, just to help get all that ink especially, but chalk paste, and my torch paste, let me see, stick into my bowl here. And I did get that. So I didn't wash the entire stencil, I washed what I used, and I'm going to go ahead and put this back here. Now you can see I did have a couple spots where I got this on my backer sheet, so I'm just going to take my, I'm going to get rid of these now. I'm just going to take my stencil sponge, which you can use dry or wet, to help you out. Oops, I see a little bit here on the sideline. Otherwise, it looks good. So I'm going to put away my gloves here. And I'm going to close up. Now, this particular, I should have put in there as well. If you happen to get this on your skin, get it washed off as soon as you possibly can to risk burning yourself. Wipe off my hand here. Okay, so what I have found with wood burning is that if I were to start to dry this without having it dry a little bit, get a little bit drier, right? The gel from the torch paste will spread out, so it's just like leaking underneath of your stencil. It just pushes itself out further and then just kind of makes a mess of your things. So this is going to take some time, and I'm going to try not to have you lose hearing, but when you're using a heat gun, it's loud and noisy, and my board is going to really heat up because I'm using it for a long time. So I'm going to start, and then I'm going to stop and tell you what I'm doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, I'm getting closer to my wood than I normally would for anything else. If I get really close to my chalk paste, it's going to like curdle up and dry, and then it just falls off, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go back and forth in an even pattern, and you'll start to see my shamrock starting to turn darker and darker and darker. If I go really dark, it actually will look like coal black chalk paste. But I love the look, and I have so much fun going ahead and doing the wood burning. And then I can tell everybody I wood burned it. So again, I'm just going to go back and forth. And this does take time. If I were to get the high-powered heat gun from the garage, this would be done in a few minutes. But I'm going back and forth because I want this to be even. I don't want to have a really hot spot, and you probably can't see it from where you are, but this actually also makes the wood a little bit darker. This did come with some kind of coating on it, and so I did go ahead and I sanded that off. I'm going to go back up to the top because, like I said, this is going to take a while. But if you're loving this and you're loving wood burning and you're loving chalking and inking, come craft with me. We have fun. You'll learn all kinds of techniques and tips and tricks, and we just have a blast crafting together. So I'm going to focus on this top part of my shamrock, so that you can see how it really changes, and yet you can still see what's going on with the rest of this board. And really, to be truthful, right now, nothing is happening. Well, it is. And it's very, very dry. I'm going to hold this down right here for a minute. See if we can get it to start the burning process. Okay, I'm doing what I told you not to do, but I want you to see the effect. So you can see how it's kind of orange, and then up in this corner you can start to see how it's burning into the wood. If I wanted to, I could leave it a real light brown like it is, but I'm going to go further. Oh, the dogs are barking, and we don't even have civil defense today. So you can see I'm going in circular motions now. I'm doing that so that I can heat up an area really quick for you. But normally I would just go back and forth evenly like this. And like I said, it does take time. So you're not going to do this in a hurry, and you definitely have to practice your patience. Obviously, I'm not being patient enough. But you can see I'm getting really close to this. And again, I want to show you how that one area, we'll eventually get the whole thing like that, but you see how it's getting darker. As is some of the other parts, but I'm focusing in on one area so much. Okay, we've got some progress again, so I want you to be able to see. I don't know which side of my camera you can see this the best from, but this is where I'm working, especially on this side of the heart. So you can really see that it's really starting to get burned. So I'm going to continue on. And I'm going circular, and I'm going really, really close so that you're not sitting here with me for hours watching me with a heat gun and not being able to hear me. So I have to really use my teacher voice. Pretend you're all my noisy students. They were never really that noisy, but there were times they got carried away. I'm trying to get a larger area so you can really see how it's burned. And again, do as I say, not as I do. I'm just hurrying this up so that I can show you the difference in what happens. You move on a little bit further and try to get kind of a multicolored thing going on here with you so you can really see how it progresses. So let's take a look at that again. Do you see how it's moving across there and it's getting darker and darker? So I did this a little bit differently because I want you to see that it gets really dark and then you can see how it goes from light to dark. Now, I did sand this and I'm using this. I'm doing this on my board. And I'm going to put it on my ceramic tile again because, guess what I just did? Because I wasn't thinking. I just warped my board. So my little cutting board here, I have warped that. But we're going to try to fix that a little bit with heat on my tile plate here. And yes, this is going to get hot too. But I want you to be able to see. Actually, let's do this. We're going to fix it up and change it a little bit. Let's move. I'm going to move my board. Oh, and not put it on my... I almost put that on my stencil. That wouldn't have been good. Okay. So, if I ruin my Dollar Tree tablecloth, I go buy another Dollar Tree tablecloth, right? So let's get going on this. And we'll start going down our wood. So in the beginning, I told you that I sanded this. I'm going to use this for decorative, but so I really don't have to do anything to this. When the wood is done, I will put a coating on it, and that's just to hold the moisture in so the wood doesn't dry out. Now, let's say you're having a party and you want to have mini charcuterie boards, and maybe that's what your party goers, that's what their plate is. You would want to sand this very well. Then you want to put vinegar, white vinegar on a cloth, and you'll wash over this. vinegar is a natural sanitizer. So that will sanitize your wood. Once that's dry, you can do your stencil, you can do your wood burning, and then in order to keep it food safe, and I'm a biggie on that, I did a lot of food safety with my students, and I'm all out about food safety. So you would use a food grade mineral oil. That will condition your wood and keep it from drying out and cracking. And with my bowls and things that if you're using it for decorative, doesn't matter, but if you're actually going to use it for food, you want it to be food safe. Kirky must be home because the dogs are going crazy. They have to see their daddy. So anyway, hopefully the barking will stop. I apologize for that. So decorative, don't need to do anything. You might want to use something like a lemon oil or a spray-on beeswax just to keep the moisture in that wood so it doesn't dry out. But if you want it to be food safe, sand it really, really well, wipe it off with vinegar, do whatever you're going to do, whether it's painting, chalking, inking, burning, whatever you're going to do. And then you're going to clear coat it with food grade mineral oil, food grade. That will keep you, your family, and your guests safe. Off my soapbox. I sure made a big project for wood burning today, ready? Probably should have done it on a small tag. But I just really want you to get the idea of what it is and how easy it is to do. Again, the more powerful your heat gun, the faster this will go. If I use the really powerful one, you would not hear a word I'm saying, teach your voice or not. So again, Hobby Lobby is where I got my charcuterie board. And then Filigree leaf is the pattern that I used, the Magnolia Design Co stencil. And then a product called Torch Paste. If you want information on all of these, any of these, let me know in the comments. I will get you the direct link so you don't have to go searching all over the place. And I will tell you, Torch Paste can be purchased on Amazon, but it's less expensive, I have found, when I go to the website. Plus, I also know that small business is getting paid. So, again, you're going to want to go over and over and over again. I'm just pushing this to get it going so that you can see what it looks like. And we'll just keep going and going here. If you have questions at all about anything, let me know down in the comments. Spread the love. I always like to have new followers, and I love to have your friends come and join me. Remember, it is National Crafting Month, so in March we're definitely going to get our craft on. So if you're looking for something new, I'll give you all kinds of ideas for what's new and how you can create beautiful decor and crafts. And if you have teenagers, this is safe for them. I can't wait until my grandson is old enough that we can do some chalk pasting with Grandma. And we'll get him on that. I would say of any of the techniques that you're using, wood burning will take you the longest. But in the end, it is so worth it to see what it looks like. So I'm going to stop again, and I'm going to take this up because I have more on here and I want you to really see, isn't that turning out beautifully? It's going to be so fun to see it completely done. I think what I'll do is I'm going to finish this first heart, say goodbye to you, and then I'll come back and post exactly what the shamrock looked like. I don't want to keep you here until 6 o'clock. Or you can sit with me until 6 o'clock if you'd like. When I am at craft shows and I tell people that I wood burned this, they cannot believe it. And I honestly haven't wood burned a pattern before. Don't know what I was thinking. But I think people will be really impressed to know. So what I have going on here is I have some really dark brown, follow to a little bit lighter and lighter and lighter. I will go until this is black because I really want it to burn into the wood and give it that wood burned look. For some reason this is blowing back on in. I can feel it on my arm because I'm holding this too close. So again, you want to hold it further away. You want to make sure that you wear some kind of gloves to keep you safe. Do your pasting with that as well as cleaning your stencil and your squeegee, and make sure you use them when you wash out your sink or your little basin. I normally use a sink. I just find it easier, especially for my larger stencils. I am almost done with that first part. This is what I love about crafting, and it's what I love about Magnolia Design Co. So many ways to use their products, and use their products with other products, and if you haven't seen some of the new surfaces that come out, they're amazing. Magnolia Design Co. They're really on point when it comes to the changes in design. Whether it's new stencils, Lisa Ramsey, she hits it out of the ballpark every time. Crystal, one of the other co-founders, added some new chalk base colors that are more muted. Oh, they are so beautiful. I think I'm most excited about the vintage sage. I have a daughter getting married, and I can just imagine all the kinds of things that I can create with her future mother-in-law and sister-in-law, as well as her big sister, to make the wedding just beautiful. So that's really, really exciting. And I think the filigree pattern and the Victorian pattern fits so well with wedding themes, and there's just so many things that you can do with that. And of course, I'm going to be the mother of the bride, so I'm going to share those with you. And some of that will also include using Magnolia Design Co products, some other products, and just having fun being creative. We try to get these other parts just a little bit more brown, so you can really get the idea of how this looks. Take a little bit more time. I'm also loving that the March Craft Club, it has new surfaces exclusive to the Craft Club, but there's also patterns that go with it. I'm so excited. I believe mine should ship today or tomorrow, I think. Get that soon. I'll show you with that. And I promise it's not the filigree pattern. Stick with me, that filigree pattern is going to be out and about. And, oh, I just love it. Okay, let's get some of this other stuff brown. Come on. Do you see how my wood started to darken as well? And that's part of what I love. And when I use just a clear coat on my decorative pieces, that wood color just pops. And it just looks so fantastic. Now at a craft show, if this is decorative only, I have to mark it decorative only. Otherwise, I would mark it food safe. Let's see. You know what? I think we kind of have all the colors going on in here. Let me check. I think I can get this one just a little bit darker here. Oh, here we go. It's all in here. Okay. I think this is a good example of showing you. Stay. My wood's hot. It's very hot. But I think this is just a way to show you, see all the different colors, and you can stop whenever you want. You can go really dark, or you could go with the lighter shades, and it's just going to be fabulous. Do you love it? I'm loving it. So I'm going to continue. I will post a picture of what the final project looks like, and in the meantime, happy crafting, and you have a great afternoon. I'll see you later.